Yeah, man, it's the one only DJ Chase, the pregame party miss podcast. We're back, a special edition, the New Orleans edition.
What's good?
Quinashai Chelette in the building. What's good, mom?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
I'm great. How are y'all doing in New York other than being a little chilly compared to where I'm from?
Listen. New Orleans get cold in December. I was down there.
We have our moments.
Yeah.
But our winter comes in moments. That's what it is.
Listen, I love New Orleans. That's my favorite place. So first we're going to get into you. We're going to talk about your background and get people to know who you are. Like my show, is really geared towards like talking about, it's not gossip, it's not sex talks, none of that. I focus on the music.
Okay.
So first and foremost, how do you pronounce your name correctly for those that don't know?
My name is pronounced Quinashai Chelette.
Quinashai Chelette.
Yes,
Gotcha. That's your real name?
Yes, that is my real name. It's on my driver's license, my social security card, my birth certificate. It's on there. My last name is Watts, so Quinashai Chelette is my first and last name. And me and my mom share the same middle name.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. You have a unique name. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, I traveled to New Orleans. That's my favorite place. What part of New Orleans are you from?
I'm from the West Bank. From the West Bank, New Orleans. So, you could call them like territories and stuff, like Algiers and things like that. That's also considered New Orleans, but it's considered West Bank, New Orleans. When I was born, my mother was in the military, so she was actually in Washington, D.C. When she conceived me and my brother, she was working at the Pentagon, so she worked through a couple of things. But when she got pregnant with us, she flew back to Oklahoma City where my grandparents were at the time, and she had us at this base that they no longer had like hospitals and stuff on bases. They were like their own towns, their own world. So my hospital doesn't exist anymore, but Oklahoma City, the same place, Kanye What's good with it. Then of course, while I was still a baby, we moved to New Orleans. I guess she had change orders during that time, and then we grew up there. So my little brother was born there, and she just decided to stay there and raise us. So
that's dope.
That's where we came. So we originally we started off, and that's where my daycare was in Algiers. Then my mother got married to my father when I was like 3, and we stayed on the West Bank. We just moved to Harvey, like 15 minutes away from Algiers. So I went to elementary school there, Woodland West. Then I went to Helen Cox as a middle school. Then it transitioned. But when Katrina hit, that's when we moved to Philly. Yeah, I heard. I went over there. It's dark over there, boy. He had me in the 9th ward. I'm like, yo, my homeboy, he took me driving around. He had me in the 9th ward in the gullies. I'm like, what you got me at? That's on the East Bank though. But he probably took you around some residential places.
Nah, I was in the hood. He took me. I don't know what made him take me over there. But like I said, that was. Just
Is he
dark.
from there?
Yeah, he's from New Orleans.
Okay,
he does. His name is Ronald. He does Brothers at Peace out there. So
Cool.
So he does like community service out there. So so New Orleans is, like I said, it's my favorite place. I've been a lot of places.
Is it for the food?
Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you what's your favorite place to go?
Oh my gosh! So right now, my current favorite is Mr. Ed's Oyster Bar.
Yeah.
I love that place simply for their variety of different types of oysters. If you haven't had oysters, you gotta go.
No, I didn't have the oysters. I had the crawfish.
You got that. That's
I got
the
crawfish.
start.
He made me, and my homeboy made me eat the crawfish because I wasn't gonna.
You weren't gonna eat it? Are you a seafood person?
Yeah, I'm a seafood. I didn't, and then I loved it. And no, I had alligator too.
That was good, though, right?
Good. The alligator was pretty good.
Catch you off guard.
Yeah, the alligator was good. I was like, oh, okay.
We're not gonna make you eat nothing that ain't good.
Nah, New Orleans got y'all got it. Y'all gotta figure it out.
Yeah, come on down.
Yeah, I gotta figure it out. I'll be down for Essence Fest. So
they definitely gonna have a lot of food vendors out
there. Yeah. Now New Orleans is definitely like big on music, culture.
Absolutely.
It's a real culture town. You know what I'm saying? What made you want to become an artist?
So I had some friends that I went to high school with. They were pursuing their music careers since high school. Like that, they knew that's what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
I just would go support them. I would go to all of these different events all over the city, open mic nights, and some events were scheduled and they were featured as like the guest of the night. I would just go and just stand in the front as like their number one fan, and I just got inspired by it. Like, I want to do something. But it's so cool because that's what I learned about Frenchman Street. If you haven't been to Frenchman Street, you get a lot of live jazzy lounges there.
I think he did. Like I said, he had me all over, and I was only there for like 2 days, and I went through the whole.
Oh man, so you didn't sleep?
Yeah, I didn't sleep, and then I went to the on the Mississippi. I took a cruise around the Mississippi. So I did that.
Yeah, probably like Quinashai.
Yeah, man, Quinashai. Yeah, that's what it was. So that was fire. Like,
did you eat on it too?
Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah. I had red beans instead. I haven't had their red beans, but I did.
You know what I'm saying? So you know, and like I said, it's New Orleans is definitely. I was there as a tourist. You know what I'm saying? I definitely got to see Bourbon Street. I was so drunk and I was just like having fun. And I saw the bees. I got the whole experience. Now you guys are really big on independent business. That's something I did notice. Like you guys are like everywhere is like a business, a black-owned business specifically. That is it easy on you as an independent artist to move around New Orleans? Like, do people support you there?
A lot of artists feel the same way, especially up and coming artists. Not really. It's kind of hard.
Wow.
Because like a lot of different type of groups are kind of clicked off, you know, or you know you don't know them and you don't know how to reach out to them and stuff like that. So with me, I started just reading articles for independent artists. And I started watching documentaries and interviews because there's more than one way to skin a cat, what my mom would say.
Yeah.
So, and then when you listen to all these different stories about how artists were able to like kickstart their career, they're all different.
It's like
they're all different. So it's like, how do you know which way is gonna work for you? You kind of have to like be in tune with yourself while studying what's already been done.
I guess. But you know what? I as somebody who's been doing this a long time and you know built a strong brand as my own and really super duper like me, I'm on it. I'm on independence. You know, you never just say, okay, maybe it's my approach, or maybe it's like, okay, maybe it's something like because like I said, you came to New York. New York artists don't travel. Out of town artists travel. So it's like you know.
But when you think about it, everybody who's out of town is out of town because when like there are a lot of artists in New Orleans that don't travel.
Oh yeah.
I just happen to love to travel. I was traveling anyway, but when I decided to do this, I knew that I was gonna sacrifice my leisure trips. Like I haven't had a leisure trip in 2 years. Every trip I've had, with the exception of like a funeral or something like that, it's a work trip, and I'd be lucky if I get to have some fun. Right. So
because even when I went to New Orleans the first time, I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay. My wife is like, don't travel, don't work.
And isn't it hard?
And I'm still taking pictures. I'm still going to, and then I called my friend. He had me traveling, taking pictures. I'm like,
because in your head, this is new territory. Like, what? I don't know what I'm missing out on.
And even Essence Fest, like, I'm trying to come down and enjoy myself.
See, I'm trying to break into Essence Fest myself.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna get it popping. I might come down and get us a table or something. Like, for sure. And you know, your music is really unique because that's why we're here. We're here for the music. So you know, you incorporate spoken word, you incorporate singing, you incorporate rapping, even just scat. You incorporate a lot of different things. Do you do that on purpose, like to separate yourself from the pack?
Absolutely not, but it's funny because now that it's happening, it's like, okay, so how do you explain that? You know, what genre were you gonna plan on like sticking to after a while and stuff? But my producer, Beats by Now, a dope West Bank, New Orleans producer, I had this book of poetry that I wrote, and my friend told him, hey, my friend's trying to figure out something. You know, we all went to high school together, but I wasn't familiar with studio life and stuff like that. I just knew that I could read my poetry in a way that nobody could, and it could touch them if I read it myself. That's how I ended up in the studio. So when in the studio, and now everything that I did, like the first 2 to 3 years, was custom scratch. So when I finally, even people were like, you sure you don't want to rap? You sure you don't want to do music? No, I just want to kind of like make a creative like audio for my poetry. But when I really finally decided to like tap into music, I let the poetry choose its own genre. That's what's happening.
Gotcha.
So like we really like I have this like I don't even know what genre a poem is gonna go into until it's finished. So that's kind of cool, and I'm kind of like allowing my poetry to tell its own story because they all have different personalities. That's why they end up in different genres. But after I know I'm gonna settle into one, but I'm just seeing which genre my poetry falls into the most.
Got you. So you you don't have a genre, you're gonna say.
Poetry does not have a genre, y'all.
Well, you know I gotta ask.
You would think it would be rap, like right off the back rap, but it wasn't.
Listen, I gotta ask. The bounce music, what's up?
You know it's coming?
Are we gonna get some bounce music? What's up? Because I party down there. I haven't party like that in long. I need some bounce music. What's up?
Just know before it hits official summer, I do have a bounce song coming out. It's been leaked a little bit, but actually it's so funny you say this because starting next week we're about to start rolling out some promo for it. Okay. The song Double, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if y'all know this, but it's now playing on Q93, #1 for hip hop and R&B in the city of New Orleans.
See, that's what I'm saying. Look at you say New Orleans don't support.
No. So that like it takes like no one's gonna just give it to you. Like I researched. I sent emails and emails for months and months. You know what I'm saying? So people be like, hook me up with them, and I'm like, I don't even know them. Like everything is professional, but it's professional because of how of the articles I'm reading. They're teaching you how this is the type of format that news stations want to see.
CDs. Artists don't even understand.
What?
But you know what's crazy? See, I appreciate your professionalism. I have to say, because like I said. I had an artist the other day send me a blank email. I was like, I had to send him. I didn't want to respond to it. I'm like, bro, you sent me a blank email from a cell phone. Like it was crazy. So,
but they don't know no better. But
read, pick up books,
research. But you like the questions that I had to ask myself that I didn't know the answer to. I just put it right in Google, like how to market yourself as an independent artist. And of course, like 1,000 articles come up and nobody wants to read 1,000 articles, but I started reading like 5 to 10 a day. Seriously. And then I would read these articles and you should format it like this. This should be your title. This is what's going to look like press. This is this. And I would just like over months, I would send it. And I'm telling you, still news stations to this day haven't responded.
Actually, you know what's funny? That picture right there, now I think about it, from that picture was taken in New Orleans.
Okay.
What's the chicken restaurant? The chicken finger restaurant.
Oh, in Canal.
Yeah.
Willie's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the Lil Wayne mural over there. That's what I know.
That's
not Charlie's. What is it called? Raisin Cane's.
You know what Raisin Cane's?
Yeah, that's
y'all don't have a Raisin Cane's.
No, we don't have one.
It is Louisiana. It is from.
We don't have it up there. Yeah, matter of fact, that picture's from New Orleans.
That's funny. Look at you.
I'm. You can tell. Listen, I done been to Toronto. I done been to Germany. I done been all over. Y'all got by far. The best food. Best food by far.
The best vibe too.
Yeah. Y'all show and what I liked about it, like once again, it felt like Black culture, like you know what I'm saying. Like even New York lost its luster. Like I'm from Harlem, so
you think so?
Hell yeah.
And we about to go hit up Harlem tomorrow.
Listen, you missed the '90s, the Harlem I grew up in.
Okay.
Yeah, it's totally.
See, I didn't even get to enjoy it.
Nah, it's still a little bit there.
But no lie, when I came to Harlem last year during the pandemic, y'all was outside, even though the state was supposed to be inside. Y'all was outside, but y'all remind me so much of New Orleans.
Oh no, it's definitely they still outside. They still
y'all were like y'all's culture, like Harlem's culture, remind me of New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
Like we was walking, it's like this kind of remind me of Canal Street. Like y'all really do have that feel.
Yeah. But I guess it's everywhere though. I guess everywhere has its bad, good points and its bad points. Because I've only been seen by Bourbon Street, so I can't really go back based on that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, everything's starting to open back up slowly. So hopefully we both will be able to tap in as well, because also when I really started putting out my music, the pandemic hit. So it wasn't like I was exploring the city. You couldn't. Yeah.
But y'all was open though when I came, because I came in 2020. I came in December. That's when
it was fluctuating.
Yeah, it was Bourbon was
because right when January hit and in February the numbers went back up. Everything went a lot of people didn't go back into phase 1. New Orleans went all the way back into phase 1.
Yeah.
So we was just trying to make it. So they was probably outside. They didn't know, but they went back in phase 1.
For sure. And the first song you put out is a NOLA Runway mix back in 2020. And you made that for fashion designers, correct?
I did, man. And what's so funny, man, we was in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we debuted for our fashion show. So we were like, man, we gotta have a different look. We gotta have a different sound. We from New Orleans.
Yeah. So you come up here a lot.
Well, I used to live in Philly, so you know.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
I lived in Philly from like when Katrina hit for about 4 years before we moved back.
Oh,
so,
okay. Copy.
You know, I was able to. I knew about like the little Chinatown bus. Take that for $21 to go to Chinatown or go to
I just came back from
and take the subway in New Jersey.
I was just in Philly. I was just there last week.
See, I need to get back to Philly, but I come to New York way more.
That's what's up.
For real. So you know.
Yeah. So NOLA runway mix.
So we debuted in Brooklyn, and the thing was, when you think of a fashion capital, you think of New York, but you think of all of these big name brands. So New Orleans, the NOLA mix actually has a bunch of different local, since you said it from the beginning, local either fashion designers or fashion stores, fashion entrepreneurs. I sprinkled that in my song, but I still kept a New York fashion beat.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to jazz it up, but the girls didn't understand second line, and I was trying to introduce second line umbrellas to the runway, and they were just like, what? And I tried to give them the history of it. They were like, what? So then I said, no, we're going to keep it this New York vibe, but I'm going to just start shouting out different, like, well-known fashion influencers in New Orleans. So that if you really listen close, or you're from New Orleans, or you shop there a lot, you'll hear those different stores or designers.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, and you know, cause you do model as well. I was going through your Instagram. I'm like, oh, she getting a little jazz on. You know
I gotta
what I'm
be on the face of my brand, so I have to.
Copy. Do you want to focus more on modeling or being an artist?
Being an artist. My goal, really, when it comes to fashion, I want my second line umbrellas, my New Orleans style second line umbrellas to make a major. What? I was gonna send you one. It's part of a thank you care package. What? I want them to go all the way to Paris. Like, I want to hit every major fashion capital, but I want to every major fashion capital. I want to hit it with a different, brand new fashion song. And by the time I hit Paris, I have a fashion runway album.
There you go. That's so. Yeah, so you on it.
What? So, you know, because New Orleans, we so big on fashion, but we're not well known when it comes to the type of influence other countries or other cities have, like New York and LA and even Miami.
But you know what? I keep talking about it, but y'all guys are like uncharted territory, because even Miami, like I went to our vacation in Miami twice, and I'm like, all right, then it was just randomly, I would have never wanted to go to New Orleans, and I was just like, this place is amazing. Like the fish bowl.
Vibe.
Like I had a fish bowl. Let me tell you something right here. I had a fish bowl out the wall.
Did you finish the whole thing?
Nada. I had to pour it out. I had to pour it out. It was too much.
Did you have a hand grenade?
Yeah. I had that. As a matter of fact, I had it the same day.
Oh, that's why.
And then I had that first, and then I had the fish bowl, and it was over. I couldn't even. When it started spinning, I was like, all right.
I've been trying to put people on.
Nah, don't do it. Don't listen. If you're listening, don't do the hand grenade and
one at
a time. Just two separate, and give yourself a day break.
Choose your poison wisely.
The man poured it out the wall. I'm like, oh, this is bad. I was like, oh, it's over for me. But you know, as a female artist, I have to ask, you know, what's like one of the hardest things you have to deal with so far, especially being a new artist? Like,
that's interesting. So I'm so blessed with such a dope producer. I feel so safe with my producer, and I've been with him for just about 5 years. So I haven't had to deal with things a lot of female artists have dealt with when it comes to producers. And I haven't done a lot of features, so it's not like I have a lot of experience on the pros and cons of working with other artists.
Gotcha.
But in terms of like, even when I have to do photography, when I have to do shoots, and I use those shoots for like my album cover, my art cover, things like that, I always make sure I come with people. I don't go alone, especially when it's like those risque type visual concepts. I don't go alone, and I would enforce that with other female artists too. If if you are not sure what you're walking into, it's best not to go alone, because that really cuts out on a lot of things too. So Even traveling, like I said, I've been traveling by myself since I was 14, right? I missed my first flight and cried when I was 16. So traveling wise, I'm a G when it comes to that. I'm my own travel agent. When I work out logistics and everything, so I can move around. So even I know a lot of artists struggle with that. I noticed.
My wife is my secretary. The only thing I'm good at is driving. That's what I do. Driving, I know how to get there. But other than that, plane though, I don't do that.
Yeah, because a lot of times that's why a lot of people don't go to and get those opportunities.
Yeah, but you gotta hit the pavement. Like even this week, I'm booked up, and then I'm going to North Carolina in April. So I gotta drive down there and travel and network
and move around.
Even me being a New York-based DJ, I still gotta take pictures. I gotta
seriously
build because I'm trying to travel the East Coast and then network.
Yeah,
so.
And then a lot of other reasons why people say it's a struggle when it comes to the music industry is well, I gotta work to fund my life and then fund my
everybody
dream.
gotta work.
We all gotta work. Like no one would ever know that I have 2 jobs right now.
I just came to work, so
right. So that's what I'm saying. Like I be clacking out and walking on the plane.
New York is expensive, so you gotta have 6 jobs in this bad boy.
Man, we were just walking around up the street like, how are these people making it?
Nah, don't listen.
Like,
it's a weird place, And I want to talk about some music again. So the big single while we hear Rio De Janeiro. That's the record that introduced us, that gave us the connection.
Yeah.
Is that a real story? Is that
is
that a boo thing? Something like that?
Yeah, that's a previous relationship kind of thing.
Okay.
But one thing I wanted to not do was I really didn't want to write no heavy male bashing songs because at the time I didn't have a female audience or a male audience, and then I also knew that everybody goes through those type of issues with their partner, whether their partner is male or female. Yeah. And I'm working with an artist, and we're both, we're dating, and we're both trying to, kick it off, and I'm supporting in a way that I feel like I should be supported in the direction that I'm trying to go. And you just, the type of person I am, I took the back seat, and then one day I just didn't want to take the back seat no more, and I would go to bed with tears on my pillow. And I'm such a traveler, right? Man, I'm such a traveler. And even in the hook, it's saying, either I'm in Rio De Janeiro or we in Rio De Janeiro. Like, I'm still giving, an option. So I'm allowing, I don't want to introduce more hate into my listeners, even though sometimes it is what it is, but I don't want to introduce that. I want to offer another coping mechanism, a different perspective, another way for them to release and still have a life and still have their freedom, when all those ups and downs is over. Yeah. So, yeah.
It sounded like a real personal record. I'm listening to the record, and even how you arranged it, the vocals, it's like you're just talking to them, basically just cock back, Rio De Janeiro. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes
and then talking about your pillow and talking about getting on the pillow and So, I want to ask who produced that. I got to ask for my producers. The same producer?
Beats by Nell. Beats by Nell has, his name is Kylo Beats. Okay. I bought this, actually the very first song I bought from a beat maker was Rio De Janeiro. His name is Kylo Beats. He's actually an international beat maker, so he's not even from this side of the world. Oh, wow. And I think the song, it was at least the beat was at least a year or 2 old. Not too many people had heard. Not too many views. It didn't sell, but it spoke to me. I was like, it spoke to me. So I got the beat and I brought it back to Nell, and I was like, Nell, do you record on top of other people's music? Because I never had a reason to. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I had got this music license, and I bought it from from Beats. So yeah, go ahead. So he really he hooked it up though, and he definitely added his mix to it as he usually does. Even if Nell doesn't, because that's what I love about him. He's not one of them selfish producers. He's selfless. And he offers if you want to experiment. If you want to practice and try something new.
I'm the same way. When I'm in the studio, I try to have a dope female artist. I'm gonna definitely put you with. I think Marley McCoy, you would love her. Y'all would both same personality. You know what I'm saying? So what's one goal you want to accomplish this year? I know we in March, going on April, mid-March.
You know I got goals.
Yeah, I know. Give me one goal. What's one goal this year?
One of my goals is I really want to end up on DJ Small's couch
Wow.
and ATL.
Yeah.
That's just one goal. That's one goal. Oh yeah, no pressure. Like sometimes I'll be like, why do you think so big?
Nah, but you have to.
You know, and you're like, man, as I do it, I'm like, this is what I want to do in the back of my head, because I like wear many hats for myself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is gonna be a lot of work. Now what we gotta do? Now I gotta sit down. You know, I've been researching and stuff like that. Just like any other is to end up on the Breakfast Club. You know, because the Breakfast Club. What?
Don't forget about the little people.
What? You are my like first.
We always talk. I know we always talking.
My first out-of-state interview. I really appreciate you, man. We always
talking. Nah, yeah, I'm at your disposal.
A pleasure. Like I never forget about you.
Nah, thank you. And you know, I want to give you flowers, as they say. So you know, you definitely are very professional, very talented. I think you know, just put out more music. That's the only thing I say. Like, just keep.
Bounce Song coming next.
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. So I'm gonna be in Essence Fest Wildland.
Yeah, I'm honestly, see, if it don't drop April 1st, it drops a week before that, so it might be a surprise when it drops. But you know, I'm gonna let you know. You gonna have it.
Yeah. And before we get out of here, I got 2 more questions, right? And this is my big question. I ask everybody this. Now, a lot of people, they want to get signed. They want to stay independent. They don't know what they want to do. What do you want to do? Do you want to stay get a deal, or do you want to stay independent?
Man, I don't even know. Like, I'm one of the people that really don't know, because when I do get offered a deal, you know, I'm going to an entertainment lawyer. We're about to like bypass a lot of red tape. I don't like that extra headache. You know, you can really have a really good deal. Yeah. You know, but you have to be very smart on the front end. Yeah. But no, I don't. If I do get signed, I wouldn't mind getting signed, but I want it to be something that we both can eat from. I don't want to find out later.
Like a partnership.
Yeah, I'd rather it be a partnership, especially because I'm developing myself as my own brand entity. So you couldn't even, you know, completely take ownership of Quinashai Chelette, the brand, anyway. Yeah. You know, we can like hand you the artist a little bit, but the brand is its own entity, so hopefully I'll have more room for negotiation. But outside of that, I'm learning a lot as an independent artist, so even when I do get signed, I'll be able to, I get the opportunity to see what they're doing. Especially when I had to learn about BMI and district kids and all of that.
Yeah, that's what I do.
And then I want all my, like, I be looking out like, oh, they don't got the lyrics, and I guess they manager didn't do. You know, I know how to go, and I even if I step away from handling all of the business side, I know how it works. If I need to check something, if I don't feel right about something, I know how to get into that. I know what I'm looking at.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Cause even like with me, I have my label, and I give singles. I just do singles. Like I got a perfect song that I want to get you on. So
I'm excited.
I'll send you the track, and then you know, even if you don't leave, I'll get you to my studio. We'll figure it out. Bring you to the Bronx. So
yes, you already know. Just let us know. I'm always trying to figure out how to get to New York.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, do you got any shows coming up in New Orleans, New York? Got any performances coming up? What's up?
That's the thing I'm tapping into in the present moment. So hopefully by the summer I'll be doing some live stuff. I'm looking at mainly kind of staying around in my region. Yeah, for sure. So like ATL, Houston.
I know like Tennessee is near y'all, right? Tennessee's kind of far, right?
It's about 8 hours or so. Right. It's not too far. If it's, you know.
No, you guys about like Florida, right? Like Atlanta, Florida.
We're like right in between. At a little curve, we're in between ATL and Houston in terms of major cities.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's nothing but like an hour flight to H-Town and a little bit longer than that to ATL.
Copy.
Super close.
Copy.
So and look, I don't mind coming back to New York because
I wish you was here longer. Like all my shows, I got a whole bunch of stuff coming up next week, and I was just here because I got a whole bunch of shows coming.
I'm coming back, man.
Yeah,
Y'all finally
yeah,
opened back up. Last time, nothing was
over
going
there.
down, man.
It was quiet out here.
Nothing.
Yeah, it was quiet on the show front, man. But we can do this all day, man. Quinashai
You
Chelette.
look at it. There you go.
I'm gonna call you Q
There you
Chelette.
go.
That's what I'm gonna call you.
That's
I'll read
cool.
your autograph.
That's
Q
cool.
Chelette. All right. There we go, David. I'll plug your social medias, everything.
Of course, it's my name, Quinashai Chelette, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, my website. Just Google me, baby. Quinashai Chelette, QUINASHAI CHELETTE. I'm the only one spelled that way for now. And then I don't know. When the fan pages start popping up, hopefully I'll be verified and y'all still be able to find me. As an artist, though, I will say this. My song titles, if you just type in my song titles, it's harder to find me because I'm a new artist. So always type in my name, you'll find my music.
There you go. Q Chelette. Quinashai Chelette.
I
got
it.
It's
What?
DJ Chase, the pregame party miss podcast right here on DJ Chase Radio. Now, Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, DJ Chase. Follow me on Instagram _DJ Chase _ Twitter @DJ Chase, Facebook DA Real DJ Chase. Yeah.
It's official. Come on.